So real quick, injury update. Martavis Bryant has a PCL injury in his knee. Don't know the length of the injury, but it doesn't look like he'll be available for some time. Jordy Nelson has a knee that's being further examined. Kyle Wilbur is also in the evaluation mode right now. We think he's got a chance to be okay, but I'll be happy to answer any questions I can.
Are you guys activating Eddie today?
I believe we're going to put Eddie on season-ending injured reserve. We had a chance to look at him for a couple weeks, and although he has made progress, he's had a couple injuries to the knee in his background. We want to make sure that we give him the proper time to get ready, and we're going to be very precautionary with him. So I believe his season will end, unfortunately, but I think it's the right thing to do for him and his future.
When you look back at the fourth down play late there, are you still happy with Derek's decision?
Yeah, it was a terrible call by me. It was a design for Jalen Richard against man-to-man coverage, and there wasn't a lot he could have done. He could have been Fran Tarkenton and done a 360 and reversed the field a few times. There wasn't much there. You got to credit the play caller with that outcome.
Bryant maybe out for a while and Jordy dealing with that. How is the receiver group? How do you see
Yeah, it's
that?
tough. It's tough, obviously, with Amari gone and Martavis out, Jordy out. We'll knock on Marcell Aitman's door. Perhaps give him an opportunity to step forward, and we'll bring in some receivers to work out tomorrow. And if we need to make a roster spot, we will.
What are you seeing from Aitman just in practice?
Steady progress. He's a big guy. Has played well. He's played multiple positions, as I said last week. He's also a guy we think has the size and strength to contribute on special teams. So LaFell played well. I thought Seth Roberts stepped up, made some nice plays, and hopefully Jordy's okay. If not, Marcell will get a great opportunity against Arizona.
Petterdos has worked hard to be in position to play this season. He had the setback in camp and has worked since to get back on track. What was the conversation like with him, if you had it this morning?
Yeah, I talked with him on the field last Friday, and the clock is ticking. You get so many days to evaluate a player before you make the decision to activate him or put him on injured reserve. And he did have a setback in training camp. It was a tough one. We expected him to be ready in camp. But it's just, I think right now it's not 100%, and he hadn't had enough padded practices and been in the trenches enough to activate him and perhaps re-injuring that. So I think it's the wise thing to do, and we'll try to move forward without him and get him healthy for next year.
On the 4th and goal from the 1 opening drive, the jet sweep, it looked like the same general concept that the Chiefs did twice against the Chargers in week 1 and both times scored. Was it the right look in terms of what the defense was in, or was it just execution?
It wasn't blocked exactly the way that we put it on a card and expected them to line up. Had a chance. But I credit the Chargers. They're a good football team. And Ingram strung it out a little bit, and Derwin James made a very good play. And, once again, it was not a very good play call because it didn't work. A lot of people are running that play, as you know, in the tight red zone for obvious reasons. And my first time using it wasn't a great experience.
It was fun on film.
Yeah.
What did you see from Brandon Parker yesterday? Obviously, rough game with the Niners. You had to pull him out. How is he progressing?
There were some good things. He and Colton together, they had their physical ailments, certainly against the 49ers. But I thought Parker, other than a few plays, handled his own, did well, showed some progress. We had David Sharp ready to go if need be, but I thought Parker warranted the start and warranted to finish the game. I thought he did some good things against some good rushers.
One
what about Nick Nelson? His snap count increased, and generally speaking, what kind of progress have you seen from him now that he's healthy?
Pretty good, pretty good. We like him. He had 5 or 6 coverage opportunities yesterday. I think you saw for yourself what he's capable of doing. He's got some quickness and size and strength to play the nickel position. I think he played 25, close to 30 snaps, something like that. Leon Hall's numbers were down at the nickel position, but for his debut, I thought he played pretty good. I was excited about it.
Is Nick Morrow a guy you want to see more of second half of the season?
Yeah.
I know he played a lot yesterday.
Yeah, he is. I thought Markel Lee, we moved Markel to Sam, the strong side linebacker. I thought Markel had his best game playing that position. Morrow, we'd like to see more and more from him. And I thought Kabinda did some good things at the middle linebacker, too. So I was pleased with a lot of things I saw from our young defense.
When you're in cover zero, like you guys were on the 66-yarder, and the running back goes into the flat like that, is there anyone whose assignment is to cover him and trail
Yeah,
him? Or is it
I'd just say that, when you're the coach, you take responsibility for the bad things that happen. We had a man that was in coverage who didn't peel off and cover him, and it put Conley in a tough spot. Conley's covering his guy. And, we try to read out of our coverage and make a tackle in the open air against Melvin Gordon. It's a hard thing to do. But we had an error on that play, and it cost us.
that level of aggression to try to get to the quarterback? It seems a bit necessary where Gunther has to dial things up just because of what the four-man rush has been this season. Are those the sorts of plays that you need to do as a coordinator just to try to affect the quarterback?
Well, it helps to call those plays when you have them behind in the down and distance. We finally, did a good job, I think, getting some at-bats. We had some 2nd and 10s and 2nd and longs, and we had some 3rd down and longs. And when you have those situations, you can get your pass rusher, nickel blitzes dialed up. And I thought that was what you saw yesterday. And Gunther's really good at doing that. But I think our ability to stop the run in some early down situations led to that.
Rashawn Melvin re-entered the rotation at corner. What preceded that in terms of, was it something that he showed in practice most recently that made him rise from being a healthy scratch as he was at the previous?
I think so. I think, Conley and Worley, those are the 2 guys that started. I think you saw Nelson emerge a little bit more as the nickel. And we're going to rotate Melvin in there. He's a good player. And we'll try to be smart about when we do it. And, at the same time, only 2 can play.
Jared Cook looked a little bit frustrated out there at times. Is that just a matter of the stretch that you guys are going through where guys?
I think so. I'm frustrated. He's frustrated. A lot of us get frustrated. To have 3 opening drives like we had yesterday and have 3 points it's hard to swallow, really. He's a great competitor, heck of a tight end, and I think his frustration is pretty logical.
More guys? You said that you rely on the trainers to tell you if a player is unable to go, but with a rookie like Colton, is there any concern about how playing at potentially less than 100% could affect him mentally at all?
No, I think what you're dealing with Miller is one of the most mentally tough kids that you will find. And I think he's gaining strength from playing. I think he's really learning a lot about this business right now the hard way. Not only losing, not only playing hurt, playing from behind a lot, but learning how to play well against great rushers when you're not at your best. And that's really the definition of a lot of these great pro football players. A lot of these guys don't feel good after week 2 or 3. But for that young man to go out there and give us all that he's given us under these circumstances it's really exciting.
John, from an outsider's perspective, it looks kind of bleak, not only this year but next year. What gives you optimism that this is going to work out and be what you thought it would be when you came here?
Well, the Chargers came in here yesterday as a 7-2 team. A lot of teams feel they're the best team in the AFC. I thought we hung in there with them pretty good. A lot of young guys playing. I know we can play better, and I know we will play better. And I'm not going to make any predictions. I know it's dark right now. It's tough, man. It's tough on our fans. I thank our fans for showing up and being with us. But we're going to bring this thing back. I've been a part of it before, and we've got some great people to build around, and we've got some resources to keep building. And I'll leave it at that.
Related to that, when you came here, you had so many things you had to get your hands on. This organization, coaching again, evaluating again. I know you were still immersed in football, but being away from coaching. How much of a learning curve is there when you have to jump back into this raging river? NFL coaching, how much has there been?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's tough business for all of us. Every year the rules change. Every year the roster changes. Every year something changes. But, the Oakland Raiders, as I've said earlier, we've had a lot of change in this organization for the last 15, 20 years. And change is tough. Change is tough on everybody. And I'll put a big exclamation point behind that. We got a long way to go. But I thought there were some really good signs yesterday, some signs that really excited me. And I'm really happy to be back. I know we've got a lot to prove, and I'm sure we have our critics out there. But, that's all part of this.
Marcel Aitman, is he ready, based on what you've seen in practice, to be called upon should situations dictate?
I think so. We'll see. He'll be another rookie that we call on, and we've had some rookies step up. We'll need him to do the same.
You look at the offensive production in the last few weeks, no touchdowns in 9 quarters.
Yeah, it's tough, Vic. It's tough. Yeah. Go ahead. I know what's your question.
What's the biggest issue, you think? What's been the biggest problem?
Well, obviously finishing drives is a big issue. We get down to the 1 yard line, we don't finish. We get to the red zone, we fumble the football. We've turned it over in the red zone a couple times. I think the injuries up front on the offensive line really hurt us in the 49er game, being honest. Not just a couple, a few. I think, yesterday the Chargers are a heck of a team. Sometimes you tip your hat to the opponent. We lost a couple of our receivers again in the football game, and there's some questionable play calling, honestly. So you couple all those things together, you'll probably have a good story there.
Let's do 2 more, guys.
John, when you obviously want to win games now and have success now, but when the owner, Mark Davis, comes out and says that you were his end game, getting you back in this building, and he gave you a 10-year contract for a reason, how much satisfaction or comfort does that give you, knowing what going
Look,
forward?
I feel Mark's pain. I mean, I'm not gonna, I talk to Mark after every game, and these are unpleasant conversations. It's tough, man. We want to win. We want to win. We also want to do right by this organization, and some of these decisions have been really tough. But, I want to deliver for him and his family, certainly, and this organization. And right now it's tough, but it's great to have him support me. And, I appreciate it. But I feel the same way he does. I just want to win.